TomoNews presents the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Rich kids of Tehran, proof that haterade is a worldwide thing. Fast cars, big houses, lavish lifestyles, and beautiful people. Nope, this isn't a rehash of the popular 80s TV show Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. This is the Instagram account called The Rich Kids of Tehran, and its goal is to prove that despite living in what we would think was one of the most repressed societies in the world, these Iranians are swagging it up like your favorite rapper and athlete had an iced out, gold-plated love child. They're making a point that they are Persian and not Arab, and therefore shouldn't be associated with terrorists, jihadists, and all the other ists that kill people. But no matter what ethnic group they're claiming, usually flaunting your riches is still going to garner hate from all directions. Some are saying that the junior 1%ers may not even be real, and the account owner is simply stealing content from elsewhere. I don't know about that, but whoever owns the account simply thanks us for hating on their success. Whatever. I've been around baller status flossing before, and usually they can't wait to jump in front of a camera. However, until that happens, I'm more inclined to believe that all the diamond waving that I'm seeing in these pictures is just some keyboard warrior getting his rocks off.
Iran's female soccer team may have a few too many balls on the field. Iran's national soccer team has been accused of using players who are not fully woman. According to Saudi-owned news outlet Al Arabiya, as many as 8 of their players have yet to undergo a sex change operation, yet they're playing as females. The International Olympic Committee allows transsexual athletes to compete in their respective categories as long as they've completed sexual reassignment surgery, undergone 2 years of hormonal therapy, and are legally recognized as said gender. Believe it or not, sex change operations are legal in Iran. Pretty surprising for a culture that values segregation of sexes and punishes homosexuality with death. By the way, this wouldn't be the first time Iran's been busted for tucking back an eggplant or two on the soccer field. So if Iran can't play by the international rules and regulations on the soccer field, can we trust them to uphold other international standards and agreements? Where not calling their bluff could lead to apocalyptic consequences.
Iran Hulk wants smash ISIS! 24-year-old Sajjad Gharibi has been dubbed the Iranian Hulk. And yes, we don't recommend making him angry, as we hear he's less likable when he's angry. This 342-pound powerlifter claims to be able to lift 386 pounds, and we'll take his word for it. In early July came news Sajjad is putting his growing online fame on hold to go smash ISIS. Now, he is reportedly joining the Iranian military and will fight ISIS with soldiers from Syria's Assad regime, but who cares? Persian Hercules wants to kill ISIS, and this is good. While Gharibi has quite a following in Iran, he's only recently getting more international attention, with 99.9% of news outlets, including the BBC, electing to go for the Hulk comparison. And, fair enough. Iranian Hulk doesn't appear to be a man of great stature, but man, those 25-inch arms. A proud Iranian with a strong distaste for shirts, Gharibi reportedly has his eye on a professional wrestling career, which could be a good choice, as he obviously needs cash for an American-sized SUV. But for now, Iran Hulk ISIS One Smasher is said to be toughening up for the fight. He's reportedly been dipping his hands in hot coals and burning sand to numb his fists so he can smash those puny ISIS faces. Good hunting, Iran Hulk! Here's why you should never throw your cigarette butts into the sewer. This is the explosive moment when a man threw a cigarette into a sewer, only for it to blow up in his face. The surveillance video was filmed last month in Iran's capital of Tehran. It begins with a well-dressed gentleman standing over a hole in the sidewalk. The man empties a bag of what appears to be rubble onto the sidewalk. The man then starts kicking the rubble down the hole. But considering what's about to happen next, those lumps of rock could be radioactive waste material from Iran's nuclear program for all we know. Around 15 minutes later, our friend the smoker comes along. He casually tosses his cigarette butt down the hole in the sidewalk, and kaboom! He gets a face full of concrete in return. Amazingly, when the dust clears, the man manages to crawl away from the scene, somehow with his life still intact. We're betting that guy doesn't throw any cigarette butts down any holes ever again. In fact, maybe now he'll even consider quitting smoking.
Italy covers up naked statues for Iranian president's visit. Some statues inside Italy's Capitoline museums in Rome, including a Venus dating back to the 2nd century BC, have been covered up under Prime Minister Renzi's government to avoid offending Iranian President Hassan Rouhani during his visit. The reason? They were naked. Why does Italy all of a sudden care about the sensitivities of the Iranian president? According to Rouhani himself, Italians are very welcoming and they try to do the most to put their guests at ease. And that might be true. Italians do have the reputation of being a welcoming and warm group of people. But we suspect the whole thing has much more to do with the $18.4 billion worth of business deals Italy wants to sign off with Iran than with respect and hospitality. Needless to say, this has incited the ire of many in Italy, with politicians from the left and right saying that not only did Prime Minister Matteo Renzi not mention Iran's human rights abuses, but he has also surrendered Italy's cultural identity. Senator Maurizio Gaspari of Forza Italia expressed his indignation by saying it was a gesture of cultural prostitution and that a political burqa should be put on the people who decided this political cultural slaughter. Another politician, Giorgia Meloni, wondered what Renzi will do for the arrival of the Emir of Qatar. Cover up the whole San Peter Basilica with a huge box? Adding that the only thing Italy should cover up is not its statues, it's Renzi's shameless face. According to Reuters, at Iran's request, Italy also kept wine off the menu at a ceremonial dinner. What other form of grotesque submission should Italians expect in the name of economic interests and trade?
Female chess players protest hijab tournament requirement. The World Chess Federation has announced that the 2017 World Championships will be held in Iran, and all female players will be required to wear hijabs. The organization has urged players to respect cultural differences and wear the hijabs. 47-year-old Susan Polgar, a former child chess prodigy and Olympic and world champion, took to Twitter advocating cultural sensitivity and in many ways urged the wearing of hijabs. But 22-year-old Nasi Paikazher, the holder of 2 FIDE titles, is opposed to wearing a hijab. Paikazher incited a Twitter war, saying wearing hijabs supports the oppression of women. Since the Islamic Revolution of 1979, hijabs have been mandatory for women in Iran. The strict law is enforced by the country's morality police. Any woman found not wearing one in public faces arrest, a fine, or public admonishment. Since speaking out, Paikazher has received tremendous support from the chess community and people of Iran. So take that, FIDE! Iran-based hackers spied on targets using fake LinkedIn profiles. A new report says suspected Iranian hackers are using fake online profiles in an attempt to obtain confidential information from targets. Researchers at Dell Secure Works have uncovered a network of fake LinkedIn profiles that are used to spy on hundreds worldwide. 25 fake profiles were found, 8 of them leaders posing as recruiters for international companies. 17 supporters legitimized the leaders through connections and endorsements. 6 of the 8 leaders had as many as 500 connections. The hackers appeared to target users working in the telecom, government, and defense sectors. The report suggests that once connected, hackers could send malicious software in links and attachments, potentially allowing access to sensitive information. Researchers believe the group was likely operating from Iran. A majority of the 204 targets were from the Middle East and North Africa, while 12 were from the US. The report didn't specify whether the group was able to access any valuable information, but the fake profiles have since been removed by LinkedIn.
A man in London found his stolen laptop in Iran using an online computer tracking application. Not that it helped. Dom Del Tordo came home on February 4th to find his apartment burgled and his iPad and laptop gone. However, the animator had installed Hidden, an application that can locate a Mac product and take photos of whoever has it. Nothing happened for a while, and then on his birthday the next month, Dom got an email from Hidden. His laptop was in Iran. Though he doesn't know who they are or how they got his computer, Dom is sure this woman is using his Mac a lot. Dom reported his findings to the local police, but Tehran is outside their jurisdiction. He is now posting the photos he receives online.
In 1949, Albert II became the first monkey in space. The Americans sent him. In 1957, the Russians sent Laika up on Sputnik 2. Iran is the latest country to send creatures starward, and they hope to soon have a cat in space. A Persian cat, of course. Critics are worried this won't go well, especially after the Iranians claimed to have sent a monkey into space earlier this year, only to create a stir, when the one that went up didn't look like the one that came down. Look at his nose. It was reported that they did manage to get a mouse, a turtle, and some worms into space in 2010, however. So maybe the cat will be all right. And maybe former President Ahmadinejad will live out his dream to be the country's first astronaut too.
Iran ships 25,000 pounds of uranium to Russia. Tehran took a major step this week toward fulfilling its part in the July 14th nuclear deal it made with the US, China, Germany, Britain, Russia, and France. Iran this week shipped uranium stockpiles to Russia. A cargo ship carrying around 25,000 pounds of uranium departed Iran for Russia on Monday. Under an accord made with other major powers, Iran is allowed to keep 300 kilos of low-enriched uranium, which is not enough to make a weapon. The New York Times reports the move extends the amount of time Iran requires to produce a nuclear weapon. This timeline is expected to expand further to 1 year before the deal goes into effect. Many have praised the Iran nuclear deal as one of Obama's most successful foreign policy agreements. But what do you think? Tell us in the comments below.